Bueno. Aquí estamos otra vez. Voy a bajar la música, siempre me pasa lo mismo. Aquí estamos otra vez. No solo IA, episodio XX. No pretendáis que me acuerde, no lo voy a seguir intentando. Pero sí, eso sí, segunda temporada de No Solo IA. Por favor, id diciendo en comentarios si se escucha, ¿ok? Episodio XX de No Solo IA, podéis entrar por aquí, genial. Y uno muy chulo, que me encanta, porque es el primero en el que nos vamos a atrever a ir de inglés. Y lo hacemos con una persona muy especial y no le voy a hacer esperar más. Eso sí, os digo que a partir de ahora seguimos en inglés, ¿vale? Porque tenemos aquí nada más y nada menos, y por eso es... Hello, Aric.
Hey, Bill.
Hello. So I was just saying that this is our second season in No Solo IA, not just AI. This is our second season, and it is a very special chapter today of this podcast. Not just because it's the first in English. It is also because it's you, because you mark a very good impression on me that day 4 or 5 years ago when you did that speech here in Cartagena, that event. And I have to say that you are the first futurologist that I ever listened to in these kind of events, and that thing that very impressed me. No, that's what for those two marks like this chapter is that special to me. So welcome, thank you for getting the invite.
My pleasure, and I'm honored to be part of this session.
Well, you're here not just because you're a futurologist, it's because of the way you tell the things that you say, like that you say the things you say, okay? Normally when I talk about AI, and we talk a lot about AI these days, a lot, it seems that there's no other thing than AI these days. So normally when I talk to colleagues and friends about AI, they told me, you talk about the future like there's no salvation for us. And because I used to go very deep in the future when I talk about AI, because I see how this is mainly because I read so that much of these Asimov books,
Yeah.
But I see the very deep implications of AI in society these days, and sometimes I'm getting scared. Not because AI, but how humans can use AI to harm humans, and that's what scares me. So I like, Aric, that first you present yourself to the audience, who you are, where you come from, what do you do, and then we can go from there. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good starting point. So, my name is Aric. You see a brick wall behind me because my office is full of boxes at the moment. My wife and I came to a point where we decided to leave the world behind, or at least leave the Western world behind, and we are leaving Sweden and making our way in 2 weeks to Eastern Europe just to explore. Usually people get insulted by this, but we are going to explore authenticity, as we feel that Western Europe and mainly Northern Europe reached a stagnation point where creativity, innovation are replaced by one word, which is comfort. We feel everything is comfortable, so there is no need. I spent many years working for a big corporation. I wrote an article today that it's very funny that many people has on their LinkedIn profile ex Google, ex Uber, ex something, and I would like to have my LinkedIn profile say ex corporate hell. So I spent enough time in corporate corridors and in dungeons to understand what are the challenges and friction points. And for the past few years, I ran a small advisory team. I travel, I do keynotes, I write. I'm launching in a few days my latest project, which is an online publication that is really there to um, bring opinion that matters, to the front of the stage. And I miss these intellectual discussions, and I miss philosophical discussions, and that's the aim of these publications, to actually bring this forward. And that's it. That's who I am.
How did you call, or when or where did you get to the point to call yourself futurologist? What is to be a futurologist, actually?
I get this question a lot. I mean, I will not be surprised if you're going to find futurology studies in universities around the world. If I haven't came across, but something probably exists. But I think it's relatively. I mean, it's quite ridiculous to have a futurology studies the same way you are trying to teach entrepreneurship. I mean, I was a guest lecturer in few universities in entrepreneurship. I mean, it's not a profession. It's okay when you're a billionaire, you can call yourself I'm an entrepreneur, but you don't go and study. And I think I always go back to the same story. I'm dyslexic and I'm dysgraphic, and I was born in the 70s, and during that time, I mean, no one talked about what is dyslexia. So people, I mean, my teacher just thought I was lazy. I mean, I find myself at the age of 12 couldn't read. So I started to teach myself how to read by memorizing the shape of words, the shape of letters. And I was lucky because my parents, I mean, they had the entire Jules Verne series on the bookshelf at home. And these are some of the books I taught myself how to read with. And that world, that reality captivated me. And I think from a very young age, I was drawn into, you can call it science fiction, but I call it to the possibilities that, lay in front of us if we will just allow ourselves to imagine. When I started a few years ago, that's way more than a few years ago. I think every position I had and I held was always dealt with something about the future. But at a certain point, I joined the innovation department at Volvo, and I made so much noise that eventually they says, "What title do you want?" And I says, "Futurologist." And I said, "Okay." And then I slapped it on my LinkedIn profile, and that's what's happened. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a profession. I think it's a passion more than anything else.
It has to be a passion.
Yeah.
It seems to be a passion to you. If someone's hear how you talk, just for example, reading what you publish in your LinkedIn or some other places, what you write. You normally emphasize interdependence between technology, society, politics, philosophy, and well, hopefully there were a place in Earth where you can make a living writing or talking about that for a company. But there's not that much places where someone pays you to talk about this or to think about this. Yeah. So these days, when as I was saying before, these days when we talk about AI, it is impossible to talk about the future because how we get to this point where people acquainted with digital transformation and innovation and technology are getting overpassed by the speed on that the technology is evolving. And the technology, for the first time for the first time that I'm aware, technology is evolving in something that for the first time in history can replace us, but not just but as a human, like as a single person, but replace us as a system, as a society. it's a thing. I mean, yesterday we were having this discussion here in this podcast with some colleagues, and they are like legal advisors and lawyers. And AI is going to put the entire state of things, like the entire state and the legal system and all the self-sustaining system of the society is gonna put this upside down in the future, because we are talking about AI is gonna take decisions. It's already taking decisions because lawyers like the judges are signing sentences, getting advice from AI. So yeah, it's a person who is making the decision, but who's talking through the mouth of the judge, for example. So yeah,
I would like to step back a little bit, and it's not the first time that technology is taking over certain human functions.
No.
The industrial revolutions and industrial machinery, I mean, put so many people into the poverty circle. It took, put so many farmers out of their ecosystems. I mean, the horse automated movement, but the car brought a man-made machinery into that replacement. So we need to step back enough. Whenever I look at things, and the fun part, working as a futurologist, trying to tell stories about the future, the first step is actually to understand the past. And AI is not something new. The idea of us building something and looking up to it. I mean, look at Talos and the Greek mythology, right? The bronze giant that we created to protect us and save us. What happens right now is that it's for the first time, it's not our muscles that are being challenged. It's not our it's not a skeleton. Is our intellect and our cognitive functions. And it took, it took us quite a while, and we haven't, funny enough, human physiology haven't still, evolved beyond the sword and spear war. We are still moving. We still have these muscles, that move swords. They haven't stagnated. I mean, sitting in the office haven't killed these muscles.
Yeah.
But it took only 10 years since GPS became a commercial applications for the area in our brain that's responsible for orientation to significantly shrunk. I see more and more studies on monthly base now, and it's probably going to be on weekly base, that prove, and we can talk about academic proof today because it's debatable what is proof or not proof with academia today, but it's clearly the more algorithmic intelligence there is, the more human stupidity is evolving. So it's just clear we are, as a society, becoming more and more stupid since these tools are becoming more and more available for us. And my son is working as a teacher, and he was telling me as what one of his colleagues that he's like, he doesn't think anymore. He goes to ChatGPT and he says, give me a math lessons for the entire semester for 7th graders. I mean, why are you a teacher? And the discussions. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Because my wife, she's a teacher. She's a teacher, and I have encountered feelings about this because the Asimov itself, back in the 70s, he said in his manner that internet, the informatics, like the technology, will shorten the gap between the information source and the information consumer in such a way that information would be available like today, that you don't really need a teacher, like a professional teacher when you grow up for our age. I mean, to learn anything from YouTube, for example. But in that grade, like for kids in the young age, artificial intelligence can take care of the speed of the learning speed of every single student on the class to their speed. I mean, my wife, as I told you, she has to take care of 25 kids, and they are not the same. They are not the same. Like, no, they have special needs. Some of them, they have special needs. They are some students, they've got special needs, but for the opposite topic, because they are more advanced. And then you've got the regular guys, and you just can give them all the same, the average.
I mean,
but with AI tools, you can take care of their special needs. But it's sad what you said, because it's what I'm saying. Next week, I'm conducting a training for secondary schools, or for high school teachers, and I'm sad because the very topic itself of the training is AI for teachers, like AI for learning, And what I see in most of the teachers is just what you said. I just want AI to teach me, to give me the exams and the exercises, but I don't want my students to use AI to do the homework, and that's fucked up too much.
I mean, you're shooting into an open door right now.
Yeah.
I've been very, very. I'm a person that the education system failed, and I'm looking and I'm amazed how much this system is refusing to evolve and to reinvent itself. More and more places around the world are trying to forbidden phones in classes. And this is one of the most idiotic things that I heard. We treat things as a threat rather than as a tool. AI is just a tool, and we can break down a little bit the philosophies behind an AI.
Yes.
But you use the word a tool. Axe was a tool. The car is a tool. The dishwashing machine is a tool.
Everything is.
It's there to
fulfill the task. To do things. Yeah.
Right. It's. I created a framework that is called HAPI, Human AI Performance Index, and it's there to design, or for us to understand, where does the human stop and the AI starts? Where does the AI stops and the human starts? Right? What is this fusion that exists between us and these tools that exist around us? We need to talk about a philosophical concept that is called impact lines and value. So a lot of leaders today, they don't, they try confuse the impact and value. I define impact as a process that happened on a line that it's can be 20 years, 30 years, sometimes can be like 250 years. Value are these individual points on an impact line. Now, when you take the phone today and you open a browser, you are using a value that was created on an impact line that you can date back to the Gutenberg, to the first printing press machine. Because without the printing press machine, you can really trace it back. You will not have any type of smartphone today. For me, what feels sad is that the education system is trying to extend an already stagnated impact line and introduce value point on something that cannot hold water. These are the challenges that exist today for the education system. And look at all universities today; they are still teaching people to leave university and be placed in a cubicle. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not talking about, shitty university. I'm talking, well,
no, the good ones.
I'm talking about Ivy League universities. Today apparently an Ivy League university is a university that the top professors actually use AI to cheat in their in their work, but that's fine. It's a huge disconnect between this system that is called humanity, and if you take it back to the beginning of the conversations, you're absolutely right. I mean, this system is about to break down. But I also like to remind people that the purpose of a system is to die. Every system is starting with the end goal. Yeah. So the fact is that our social system is collapsing. I'm not sure it's a bad thing, because if you're looking across the atrocities of this system throughout history, it's not a bad thing that it's collapsing. What I'm scared of is that there are not the discussions of what system is going to replace it. And if the system that is going to replace it is a set of algorithms that developed by companies in Silicon Valley, and these algorithms are locked in the dungeons, and we don't have access to the accumulated knowledge that these algorithms have access to, that's the danger of these tools. Again, it's absolutely fine for me that a teacher will go to an AI and say, can you help me to make my next lesson? Don't make it for me, but help me, right? So we'll talk about Centaurs versus Borg in a second, but the challenge is that any chat function you will open in front of you today, you have no idea what was the knowledge and the set of instructions that was fed into the chat in order to give you. So I define it as the biggest brainwash period of human evolution. And Europe is in the midst of it, because there isn't any AI coming out of Europe. There is a lot of bureaucracy that is coming out of the Europe, but there isn't. We have startups. Yeah, but
startups using somebody else's
someone else's models. I mean, Europe is very good of drowning us in bureaucracy and in rules, but innovation doesn't happen here. And it's amazing that so many of our strategic decisions right now is being made without us understanding the logic behind the recommendations we got, from the tool. I mean, not even talking about that, we don't really understand how these tools are working. And no. Frankly, I can count maybe on one hand the people around the world that understand the complexity and reciprocal relationship
of a neural network. Yeah.
Right. It's take any Apple engineer, take Tim Cook, ask him how the iPhone is working. He doesn't know. Steve Jobs didn't know that. When we passed a point of no return, that we don't understand how technology is actually working.
Doing things.
And it doesn't help when you read these horror stories. Meta engineers didn't understand how, or their AI is taking certain decisions. That's what scares, right? It's not the tool itself.
We were talking yesterday about this case in Air Canada several years ago. It was Maria Montes talking about this case in Air Canada. This chatbot on the customer, like on the Air Canada website, and the customer talking to the chatbot, and somehow the customer convinced the chatbot, AI chatbot, that he applied for a discount. He could apply for a discount. So the chatbot said, okay, you can get a discount. Then this guy went to the Air Canada, okay, I want a discount. But Air Canada asked the Air Canada answer was, no, you don't apply for the discount. Yeah, but here, your chatbot told me that I applied for this discount. So there was a lawsuit. And then the judge said, well, Air Canada, it's not the judge's decision, which I want to relate here, is what Air Canada told to the judge for their defense. It was, we are not responsible about what our AI is doing, because we don't know. We are not responsible of their decisions. So Canada was stating that their AI was out of control, their control. Like, it's like stating that my AI makes its own decisions, and that's deep.
Let's go back to spend enough years in the automotive industry to tackle certain narratives within AI and automotive. So Tesla is going to introduce their full autonomous cars. Now they get Trump support. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Great. So you will subscribe, and hopefully they will eliminate ownership, because it doesn't make sense to own vehicles when they're all autonomous. So you will subscribe for a mobility solution that guarantee that you always have it available, and it will take you and it will put you there on time, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Your wife got into labor at 8 o'clock in the evening, and there is a problem. The baby is upside down. You need to rush to the hospital. You jump into the Tesla autonomous, and you explain the situation. And I mean, your wife's life is at risk, the baby life is at risk, and it doesn't have any sirens. It starts to drive, and it's trying to take you to the hospital in the fastest possible route. But then there is an 80-year-old woman that crosses the road, and the Tesla is trying to make a decision. If I stop and let her to cross, I put the baby at risk, but if I go over her, I save the woman and the baby. And it's decided to go over the woman, save your wife, save the baby, but kill the 80-year-old woman. Who is liable for that decision?
Owner, to me.
But there is no owner, because you subscribe to a mobility solution.
Yeah, but you subscribe to somebody else's service. So.
And these are the challenges that exist.
Yeah, and this is the challenge. And as well, yesterday we were saying that, okay, we don't have autonomous cars in Europe because we are not able, and in fact, we again retired the act about AI responsibility because it's too complex, and we are discussing about, okay, we cannot have autonomous cars because we are not able to decide who's responsible for AI cars decisions. But in the meanwhile, we are losing the chance to improve or even to eliminate traffic sinistrality, for example.
Yeah.
So how many people is dying because we are not applying the autonomous driving?
I think we can look at it in a different way. We are not allowing autonomous driving cars because certain type of regulations, but we're allowing every company in Europe to use Microsoft Copilot that can actually start helping you write emails and create an American corporate culture here, because this is how the emails are going to be formatted in the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, take another exercise. Let's take right now the New York Underground. And let's say we got an amazing deal of $10 million to automate the entire transportation in the underground. That means there is no people standing in the booth. I mean, everything is automated, the ticketing systems, the drivers, everything. And there are around 1,000 people that currently working in the New York underground. So what do you do like in America? You fire all of them. And you put the 10 million, because McKinsey said it's a good thing, and we run the system. Now, let's look a little bit of who are these 1,000 people that we just put, we just made unemployed. Statistically, the people that works in the underground, 50% of them are single provider for the home. So now I have 500 families that going below the poverty line. As a result, this family line are going to move even further away from the city, and most likely their kids are going to go into drugs and into crime. Out of the 500 that, they have two providers, you put so much restraints that 250 of the couple are going to end up in divorces. On top of that, you just reduce the buying powers of 1,000 families and their kids. So it's around 5,000 people. Is that worth the 10 million that it cost you? Because the GDP calculation is going on to a $50 million at that point.
I wish it would be that easy. but it's not, because that's what we are passing the responsibility. Our decisions goes to the point that we see the consequences. We cannot see farther away. I decide to invest this big amount of money to cut 1,000 jobs, and then I see my profit on it. But what you're saying is, okay, it's somebody else's problem. Their divorce are their kids, and that's sad, because I really think that we are in this point as a society, as a species, we are at this point where we have to make a decision. What are we going to do when AI replaces us at all of us? And I like to share this video in live, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it came to my mind when we were talking. Is this video here? Okay, I shared this video a couple of weeks ago. Okay, I don't think we have audio. It's just music anyway. Cancer, AIDS, cure. No more anger. AI movies. No actors. No conflicts. And then well, you see, well, it is funny. It might be funny. It might be funny, but I think we are facing that situation in where we are letting AI take over everything, slowly taking over everything, and we are just stepping aside.
And this is maybe it's time in these conversations to stop and ask ourselves, what is artificial intelligence?
It's not a tool to me. Yeah, because you can do things with AI, but it's not just a tool. It's something else.
We live in a world, I call it like the bling bling. I call it the bling bling reality. Let's put ChatGPT in the car. Why? Because McKinsey said so. Let's put ChatGPT in our fridge. Why? Again, Boston Consulting Group said so. It's bling bling, right? There isn't any depth or essence to it. And when I walk around and ask people, what is artificial intelligence? If I will ask 100 people, I will get 100 different answers. Artificial intelligence is not a technology. It's an idea. And we know that we cannot kill ideas. So I absolutely agree that we passed the point of no return, that we cannot fight the future, where the idea of artificial intelligence is part of any given future. But like any idea, it's abstract concept. It's an umbrella that a lot of different moving parts, comes together to make this idea. So you have NLP, and you have computer visions, and you have a different type of algorithms that are capable of doing different type of tasks. But artificial intelligence, as its core, it's not a technology. It's an idea, and I'm trying to constantly correct people that I work with that you're not implementing artificial intelligence in the organizations. You're taking a tool from the idea toolbox and you're trying to deliver value to your organization or to your customers. Yeah. And as long as we don't sit as an adult around a table and create certain type of policies, and don't remember, the EU is the worst organizations to create policies for this type of ideas. And then on the other hand, you have Trump says free hands, do whatever the fuck you want to do. You end up in this chaotic reality, which is bling bling. Now, when we pass a point of, and this again, it's a philosophical debate more than anything, it's not a technological debate. When we pass a point where our creation is becoming conscious, it's going to be one AI. It's not going to be a conscious AI here and a conscious. It's one where the intelligence, that made humanity came to life after the Big Bang, or it doesn't matter how you look at it. There is one intelligence. There is human intelligence. Some of us are smarter. The majority of the people are idiots, but it's one. It's intelligence. You're not going to get a Chinese AI flavor or American. You will get, when we pass a point where that happens, then we are one step down in the food chain. Now, Bill Gates wrote a memo when he was it was Satya Nadella. He wrote a memo a few years back, and he says, any AI we create must obey humans. It has to be in a cage and do what we tell it to do. But what happened when it's it's becoming conscious? Whenever one intelligent try to enslave another intelligence, it always ends up in bloodshed. And we are coming, we're not coming on the top when we are looking into what is capable. And this is the discussions we need to have. Do we want, and for the science fiction fans, do we want to go the Borg way and assimilate with the algorithms, or we want to go the center way and partner? I also say we are standing on the banks of the Rubicon, but we are not alone. We have a societal system at one side, and we have an AI system on the other hand. The first one that is going to cross the Rubicon is going to control what comes next. And we all know what happened to the last person that crossed the Rubicon. It's the partnership that no one is talking about. It's not about replacing doctors with an AI. No, it's about using technological development and artificial tools and algorithmic intelligence to help doctors to diagnose better, to treat you better, right? You don't want a robot doctor. You want a better doctor. You don't want, an AI lawyer. You want a better lawyer. And it's this partnership that needs to come, into life. That's what needs to become real.
There's this experiment we can do. There's this experiment we can do like several months ago. It was just for fun. We built a real AI agent, not just a bot, no, but a real AI agent. Okay, and we said, okay, we've got Whisper, so AI can talk and listen. And now we can give AI eyes because we got YOLO or any other open source vision model. So we connected this model to a vision camera. We gave this agent, AI agent, ears, so he or it could listen, and speakers, so it can talk. And he was sitting, like standing in a place. He couldn't move, and that was his problem or her problem. Its problem. He couldn't move. He was always looking. If someone stepped into the room, he talked. Hello. If you talk to it, he responds, but couldn't do anything else. Now we are thinking about repeating that experiment, but connecting it to the internet, so we can send emails or WhatsApps or callings. And we saw that when the time was passing, he was starting to get nervous. So, but what else can he do? He was starting. He didn't tell it like I am here trapped, but their answers were starting to be more like neurotic. I think it was an experiment, a funny experiment for a few weeks. It was very, very funny. Because we are always pushing the technology to the limits, to the edge of we can do with it. But with AI, for the first time to me, it's unexpected. Like it's very, very, we don't know what to expect, because this model behaves this way, but as you said, but we don't know why it behaves that way.
I mean,
this model behaves that other way because we don't know why, because we don't know what algorithms are set behind.
Let's go back for a second.
Sorry, Aric, it was this last thing I was going to say. Like, I'm just getting involved. At some point, someone is gonna sign for an AI personality, like the juridic, like legal personality, and someone is gonna say, okay, this AI model has its own persona, like legal persona. That's coming. An AI that can legally make decisions for itself and for someone else. That's coming. And well, to that point, and also if that artificial intelligence can do something else but just talking or listening, that's a real breakthrough. That idea of AI that we had, that you were talking about.
You bring two interesting things. So let's go back for a second for autonomous driving cars, because this is a very interesting bridge to what you discussed. So from the beginning of time, we were always in control and responsible for the perception of our movement. When we walked between villages, we used our body to walk. When we rode horses, we controlled the horse. When we rented a car, we controlled the car. When we were using a taxi, we have the perception of control that another human is driving, right? Autonomous driving car, for the first time, we removed that brain functionality away from us. We have no idea how we are going to react to something like this when it's actually happened. And now let's take this as a jump to 10 years from now. You can have an AI assistant, and it can act as your assistant. And in an advanced country, let's choose Switzerland for the fun of it, they will decide that AI assistants can actually act as your legal representative. And you will empower your AI assistant for do not resuscitate in case of an accident or death. So you are 80 years old, you're in the hospital, you just died, and who is the next of kin? It's an AI. No, I meant the next of kin. No, but it's an AI assistant. No, but my kids are just next to me. They said, no, but he said, the AI says do not resuscitate. We don't have the legislative, even the cognitive tools to handle this type of situation.
And to understand these situations. Yeah.
So, and now I'm not talking about a self-conscious AI. I'm still talking about a advanced enough GPT that is capable of taking some legal decisions. On the other hand, I live in Sweden right now, which is, they like to say it's the most advanced country in the world. I sold the house. We sold the house. We are living, and the amount of paperwork I need to do, zero fucking automation in the system. So I'm really not worried yet of that. Imagine I need to call the water company, I need to call the electricity company and the tax company. You need to do it manually, and you're spending hours with each one of them. But it's a system. There is something called APIs. You don't even need any intelligence behind it. You just need to send messages. We are not even capable of pushing this, forward. And for me, this is the black and white world that we live in today.
AI and technology, these nowadays are evolving that fast. And that is also highlighting how slow we learn, because we learn at the speed of generations.
Yes.
So if you want to change something in society, so you start to plan, like education. Then, like in 5 years, government will come out with a new education strategy for like a plan, and then you start with that plan, and then you go slowly, and then maybe in the next 15 or 20 years, you're going to start to see something in the society, like some impact of that plan in the society. But that's more than a generation.
I love
AI
this idea.
will evolve that fast.
I love the idea that we understand changes in generations, plural. Technology can cope and understand changes in milliseconds. That's the gap that exists. That's the gap that exists.
That's a real gap. Yeah.
So, and I think that, I'm. People ask me if I'm pessimistic or optimistic, and I'm a person that I love technology. I love, you see my desk here. I have ham radios and open computers, and I play with technology on daily basis. I really love technology, and it's human that I don't trust.
Yeah.
And
there's one thing that I trust about AI, that I trust that there's not such a thing as robotic laws. These Asimov, like the ones that Asimov stated, like no robot can harm a human, no robot can let a human get harmed by omission, and no robot can disobey the first or the second law. There's nothing like this on AI. So I grew up thinking that the AI would be like protective to us, and it's not. It is not. AI is nothing but protective with us. It's going to do whatever his programmer tells it to do. So we're going to start to see, maybe this year, and this is very, very sad, we are going to start to see these autonomous embodied AI intelligence robots, like these robotic dogs and these Uni-3 humanoid robots embodied with AI. We are going to start to see people using these robots to carry on.
I fully agree with you that Asimov laws of robotics are completely wrong, because Asimov, he has like 4 laws of robotic. It's 0, 1, 2, and 3, and I think that what he forgot is the human factors. As long as robots are built by humans, you cannot say, in what world you can actually say robots will never hurt humans? You're building robots to hurt humans today in forms of a bomb, smart bombs. These are robots that are designed to hurt humans. And any AI, it's going to be a kid. It's learning from its parents, right? It's creators. And as long as humanity walks the lines between demagogues and demigods, AI is well. We like to say that we are created in the image of God, right? We love to say that. And if AI is going to be created in our image, God help us.
Yes, please.
That's the problem.
Yeah, this is something that we can be sure that if you are in somebody else's hands, you are lost, because no human is going to think about your protection or your interests better than yourself. It's something my granddad used to say: if you are waiting for someone to do something for you, he's gonna do it against you. Not for you. He's going to do it against you. So you better do it yourself. That Spanish sounds better.
Which goes back again to the Borg or the Centaurs. I feel that the different AI models today are trying to assimilate my cognitive perception into the creator of that model. And we don't need to go into the details, but I feel that I've been constantly forced to, to assimilate myself into someone else's servers and reality. While, I mean, I've seen there are so many science fiction films and story, made try to explain it, and again, I cannot escape the centaurs versus the Borgs, where I really need an AI to enable me to, to be an octopus. So, octopus has the central brain, but it has like brain in each one of the tentacles, and that's an amazing things to do, because when I can actually clear certain, brain cells of certain tasks with the full trust that my centaur AI is capable of carrying it on, imagine the level of observation, acceptance, intellects I can actually, get by doing that.
Yeah.
But this is a wishful thinking. We are not there. We are, we are constantly being forced to assimilate to someone else algorithm and to someone else code. And it scares the shit out of me. For example, I love what Meta and DeepSeek are doing, where they are open sourcing their models. I mean, most people can't, but some can at least, make sense in what's happening within the processing of a request. But they are not the biggest one out there. And the open source, as it is, the open source community, it's like a kindergarten in the end of the day. There is no adult supervision. And when you try to bring adult supervisions, then they're trying to make it a proprietary systems. And then when you get legislators that's simply not capable of asking the right questions, they're trying. And the challenge I have with the EU and the criticisms I have in the EU is that everything is being placed under scrutiny and legislations. And I would like to start the debate with a series of 1 million questions about AI. And from these questions, we can create a series of legislations. But I'm tired of living in a world where everything is closed and they tell me only this and this open. I would like to live in a world where everything is open and they can tell me
then you have to close some doors. Yeah,
that's it. And that's not the EU at the moment. And yes, I'm here. I'm not living in the US. I'm not living in China or Africa. I'm living here. And I think with all of the fear I have against the Borg mentality with the American AI, I'm frustrated by the lack of AI that exists in Europe right now. And Europe is so much behind. And the new chancellor from Germany can says we want independence from the US. You can do it as much as you want. You're using Windows, you're using Copilot, you're using ChatGPT, that's it, you're screwed. You're using American IPs. You cannot fucking disconnect. It doesn't work.
You cannot disconnect, You cannot disconnect the internet.
That's it. And the fact that the British government allowed the sale, right, of the Cambridge, AI labs into Google was the biggest mistake in Europe history. And you could have had the AI Valley between Cambridge to London. No, we gave everything. We gave all of the IPs to Google. And it's insane.
That's data is the new gold is data, actually. Data is new gold, and it's long time ago we lose the war for intimacy, like our intimacy, and then we are trying to defend privacy. But when we are talking about defend our privacy, it's because we already lose our intimacy.
I'll share with you the article I wrote about the illusion of privacy. It's going to go live next week sometime, but you're absolutely right. And again, we are shifting a little bit from an AI to intimacy to privacy, but it's still, algorithmic tools that are using to violate intimacy and privacy in the end of the day. And the majority of people,
go ahead.
Majority of people, they don't care. I mean, I meet people over and over again. I like my privacy. I use Signal. I using Android and iOS. Yes, you don't have really privacy. They control the keyboard. They control the operating system. I mean, let's. I mean, you would really like to be private? Use CubeOS. Don't go on the internet. Use Graphene OS. I mean, even Signal. The fact that you need to give your phone number is not that. But people are, they're ignorant to this fact.
These big companies, Google, Meta, Apple, these big companies, they get us to this point where sometimes when somebody asks, I got this new app, new program, new website, new whatever. Okay, apply for terms and conditions, and I don't care. But sometimes we are at this point where if you want to think about, okay, do I really want to give these guys my agreement for them to manage my data and my privacy and that? And then you go, okay, we are already lost. What? It doesn't matter. We are lost already. No, most of the people are just signing everything just because they already think that they are lost, that our privacy is lost. So
I follow very closely the German election now, and I was very surprised that the debate is still about yesterday's problem and not about tomorrow's challenge.
Future's problem, tomorrow's challenge.
And I think one of the biggest agendas that a political party should have today is the shift from the old monetary systems into a data-driven economy. It's not digital economy. It's a data-driven, and it's not just data. I will even break it more. It's a contextual-driven economy, because that's the people that control the context. They are much more closer to the intention, and they will be the one that actually win. And I mean, none of the parties they're still talking about yesterday's problem. They're like, are they ignorant or blind to the future challenges?
They just want to get vote. And
exactly.
The past, people used to get very passionate about the past.
Yeah.
Because they don't know anything about the future. Well, yes, and this I like not to follow politics and elections and all that, because they just get me mad.
But if you decide to be a futurist, it's part of your. It is part of what you need to handle.
I'm gonna use the same as on the privacy. We are already lost. Already lost.
And in a sense, that's we started with leave the world behind. Maybe that's the end of this session.
That's
why
my wife and I
decided leave the world behind.
Aric, I'm in that point. I'm gonna tell you what. In this book here. Oh, this book here. This. Well, Harari is your friend for your country.
Yeah.
He's from Israel as well. So here I read I get this idea the first time that we should be already raising our hands and screaming, just because I really think that we fucked up nature as a level that there's no coming back point. Like, we surpassed that red line where we can do something to solve it. and we humans, and we better don't try to solve it, because in history, every time humans tried to solve anything that they fucked up worse. So to this point, are we lost? I don't know if we are lost, but I think we are giving up on.
I think there is there is a great book by, let me see, I constantly forget his name.
I used to forget names.
I don't have it on my phone. I forgot.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll send it later. But that's very true. That's really true. We are people. Some people. I don't think I am giving up, but we are starting to give up. Just because we are starting to think that there is no solutions for. No solution for real problems.
Think about this like this, right? I wrote many years ago, once I tried to change the world, today I try to change myself.
Yeah.
And this is the point of, being, am I 52, 51 years old? This is my point. What I liked about the book, and I can share it with you later, it's the former Obama scientific advisor. He's saying that climate is what you expect, weather is what you get. And we are constantly focusing on the weather and ignoring the climate, even so this is what we accept. Yes, we passed the point of no return. We are going to go into,
I think so,
more and more circular, severe weathers. But we cannot prevent it, but I don't see anyone preparing for it. We cannot stop the fact that AI is going to take over certain cognitive functions and certain jobs. But people are still trying to fight it instead of preparing better for it.
Okay, we are getting to the end, but get this idea. We still talk, we still think, and we are saying, we talk about AI. AI is going to do this. AI is going to take over my job. AI can do nothing with us. We are making AI to take over. Some human is buying some subscription to AI or investing in some AI project to replace humans. So humans are replacing humans with AI. AI by itself can do it.
Let me add to this as a final note. I love these thoughts that it's not the AI, but we have all of the discussions right now about what AI is going to do, right? Maybe we should stop that for a while and spend 50% of our time thinking about what humans are going to do.
Right? Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Okay. AI is going to do that. AI is going to do this. AI is going to. But what are we going to do? Because AI is doing nothing by itself. We are making AI like powerful, omniscient. That's why I think, Aric, I got 4 kids home and no more time, but I really love I really love to get the chance to take this hour to talk to people like you. That speech back in the days 5-6 years ago very amazed me, and I'm very, very, very happy to say that I have you in between my contacts. Please send me that book. Please, we have to take the chance to talk deeper, like in private, about business, about reading, about writing, about publications, about whatever. And this is your home. You can come here to talk to me for sure, and to this small audience, whatever you want.
Thank you so much, and you're always welcome at our place in Plovdiv in Bulgaria.
Okay, thank you very much. You are very welcome here in Cartagena. You can come visit with your sister-in-law.
We will do that. My wife really wants to come and visit as well.
Okay, big hug to you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you very much, Aric. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.